the luxury category. Boy, I didn't get to test any of these cars. Talk me through it, lads.
We'll kick off alphabetically with a BMW i7. Now, that launched earlier this year. I mean, we are talking luxury categories, so probably only one of us in this panel could afford all three of these cars at once.
Oh, and Sam too.
Yeah. On that huge, sweet radio money that you're on.
It's not what you think it is.
You say that, but yeah, it's all horses for courses. So,
Yeah, right.
I would think, personally, a $290,000 electric car is expensive. Now, not everyone would, that's okay, but it is in this case. But it is a luxury category and class. It is a full electric vehicle, the i7. Now, there is a petrol version as well, but the i7 electric gets 600 kilometres range. Now, keeping in mind, this is a big, heavy vehicle as well, over 2.5 tonne. 400 kilowatts of power, so it's quick as well as electric vehicles are. It does have the ICE option, petrol engine as an option as well, but the probably focus for this is on the i7 electric vehicle. So many really cool features about it as well. Automatic doors. You can just hit something on the key fob or your smartphone and open up all 4 doors.
Yeah, right.
So it's designed not necessarily to drive, but it's designed to passenger and limousine and get people around. And
Do the doors slide?
They don't slide, no. I mean, why would you?
Black mark.
Cross.
Yeah, definitely. It's not a Kia Carnival. So
you're making jokes about my radio salary. I'm the guy driving around in a people mover.
Did you buy that new?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wait a year.
Stop.
It has automatic doors. It has auto parking function. Again, you can crawl it in and out of spaces, which is not alone. It's achievable in some other brands that are under $100,000. The luxury market we generally do consider luxury vehicles above $100,000.
Right.
Automatic parking aspects. The rear seats, it's really designed for rear seats. So the i7 and the BMW 7 Series has always traditionally been catered more towards the rear seat passengers. Right. So we've spent probably more time in the rear seats just being driven around.
Is that right?
I reckon there's a touch of Rolls-Royce, bearing in mind that BMW owns Rolls-Royce. There's a touch of Rolls-Royce in the new 7 Series.
Definitely.
And they even do it in a two-tone. It looks a bit like it.
Yeah.
Is that right?
They do it overtly. They're actually not secretive about it. Like there's crystals in the headlights.
Wow.
And there's very much that two-tone, as David said.
Yeah.
Very, very much. Squint your eyes and you'll think you're in a Rolls.
And they look gorgeous. I've seen a couple of them on the road recently and they stand up. They look slick.
You can't miss them because the grille's like this high.
Yeah.
Subjective, I guess.
That's the car I always saw myself ending up in, you know? I haven't got there yet.
Yep.
You know?
When you're 60 in 3-4 years' time.
Yeah. When I've knocked off Mike Hosking.
Yes.
Yep.
So the rear seats, each side has its own little touchpad in the door. So it's almost like a little phone style of touchpad. You can play with the radio, you can open the sun visor, the blind, you can put up privacy shields.
Yeah, which is great until you've got your 4-year-old kid in the back seat pushing all the buttons.
Yeah,
It's a
definitely.
disaster.
You can isolate them. If you've got a 4-year-old kid in the back of your i7, good luck to you.
Yeah, that's right.
So again, speaking from personal experience once again.
Well done, BMW.
But the touchpads are great. It controls everything, and you've got seat massaging as well. The piece de resistance, to use a French term on a German vehicle, is the huge 31-inch super wide television that's in the back seat. It's like, because it's so close, it's like going to the cinema.
Wow.
It's fantastic. You want another kick in the guts? We can't get it in New Zealand. So that's a bit unfortunate. We did see it in Australia where it was launched.
The TV we can't get.
We don't get the TV as an option just yet. So it might be something in the future once the technology becomes available in terms of to access the channels.
Yeah.
But at the moment, we don't get that. Huge TV screen's fantastic.
That would be nice too, because as hardworking journalists like you guys are, you probably don't have TVs that big in your lounges.
No, we don't. In fact, my first TV was a 32-inch and this is a 31-inch.
I just watch my phone. I have a television.
We're not on radio money,
No, that's right.
Stop.
So I can actually bring it slightly back down to earth a little bit. Lexus RZ. So this is Lexus's new pure electric luxury SUV. It's kind of, everyone knows the Lexus RX. It's kind of a sister model to that, but it's a completely different vehicle. It's actually on the platform of the Toyota BZ4X, which we all have trouble remembering. So same thing underneath, but Lexus doesn't do things by halves, so this is a completely bespoke vehicle on top, different styling, different interior, everything.
Nice.
Just really nice. You know, electric power is just perfect for a luxury car, just silent, refined. Lexuses are silent and refined anyway.
I totally agree with what you said there. You know, those electric motors with their instant torque in a big vehicle, all of a sudden just makes them really light on their feet. It just works, doesn't it?
And the RZ's got it only comes in the dual motor version, so it's the grunty fast one. Range, not a super huge battery, same size battery as the Toyota, so it's I think 70 something kilowatt hours. So the range is either just under or just over 400 k's depending on which model you got. But yeah, beautiful vehicle.
And Z for zero. That's how you remember the difference between a Lexus RX and an RZ for zero emissions.
Yep.
Right, makes sense. The third finalist in this category, which is of course our luxury category, is a car that I have driven and loved.
Yeah, Maserati Grecale. That's quite hard to say. Isn't it? So this is Maserati's new sort of medium to large, I suppose, SUV. It's the very latest thing. Maserati's sort of undergone a bit of a renaissance, I reckon, in the past few years. You know, stuff like the MC20 supercar. So this is the very latest tech. There's a huge range of engines. They go all the way from 220 kilowatts, which is still plenty, right up to 391 for the Trofeo. I think you drove the Trofeo, didn't you?
I did,
You're roaring all around.
Oh my God.
The school run.
Yeah, and it just brings the fun back to your everyday commute. The noise it makes when you've got it in that Corsa mode and you change gears, it makes you think you're roaring around Bathurst.
So there's 4-cylinder models as well, and they're mild hybrids. So there's a bit of green tech in there as well.
Yeah.
It's got elements of sort of traditional Maserati, but it's just really super modern. Like it's got the traditional, Maserati's always have a traditional clock, and that looks like the traditional clock, but it's actually a digital information centre, so it can turn into any number of things.
Oh, really?
So it can tell you the time, but then if you've got a notification from the car, bang, it's suddenly a screen.
I didn't notice it. I just had it as a clock.
Lots of really cool. It's got like 4 different screens in it, and they all sort of interact, and you can do all sorts of things with them. So, it's quite appealingly traditional, I would say, but also extremely modern.
Yeah, I loved that car. It's a gorgeous thing.
It's like the clock out of Loki.
Is it?
If you watched it, yeah.
What's Loki?
Don't worry. Let's move on.